You have reached the Geek Elite. Good luck.
My name is Oliver Queen.
My name is Barry Allen.
You're blind, but you see so much.
Everything we've been doing, it all leads here. Suit up.
Jim Gordon, GCPD. I hear good things about you, Counselor.
Harvey Dent. Likewise, about you, Detective.
You think you know me, but I've never been more than what each of you has created.
Just look at the flowers.
Welcome back for another episode of Televised Heroics. We're here. We're talking about the last two episodes of the first season of Invincible on Amazon Prime Video. And wow, what a last two episodes. Daniel, it's no surprise that they've been renewed for season 2 and 3.
That is a big step for them, and I'm very happy.
I don't know if you listen to Fat Man Beyond or not, but like every time and Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin had Robert Kirkman on for after the first episode of Invincible dropped, and then after the last episode of Invincible dropped, and like every time he's on, Kevin just keeps like mocking him about how he's a billionaire. Essentially, I'm guessing just because of how successful Walking Dead is, and now how successful Invincible is. But he's also making all of his projects being turned into TV shows and movies. So it's just hilarious. I don't know, are you listening to that show?
No, but now that they have Kirkman on there, I have to go back and listen to those episodes.
Well, you just listen to the last one. It's pretty funny. It's the one that just came out this past weekend. But either way, it's funny to hear. I mean, I told you my gripes with Kevin Smith as of lately, but it's still fun to listen to the three of them kind of dunk on each other. So, yeah, give it a listen. There's a little bit of a promotion for someone else's podcast that doesn't if you listen to us, you probably listen to that one anyway. So. Let's talk about Invincible. Let's talk about Invincible. I mean, is there a certain place you want to start? Do you just want to get into it? Like, where did the 7th episode begin at? Like, it's after the college, so Mark is very sad.
Right. I mean, he's heartbroken, and he reveals his identity in the first 5 minutes of the episode.
That's his big I'm sorry, or his big reason. It's like, look, I'm invincible. That's the reason why I'm not around. And she's like, I know. Like, I've known for a while. Amber is like, I'm not dumb. It's obvious. But yet she still is not okay with the fact that he wasn't around.
Yeah, it just seemed like out of left field. I think, that would be like a forgiven reason. But she's like, nah, you're not worth my time no more. Bye. Deuces.
I mean... there's a lot of reasons she could be mad at him still, but like, I just feel like this was the one. This wasn't the hill to die on, I guess, is the one I'm gonna get.
But I mean, I'm still gonna take his side, man. I mean, he's out there saving the world. He's out there helping people. You can't be mad at that fact.
You saw who we saw working for Cecil with more robot men or robotic men, or I don't know what you call them, cyborg men,
half human things. I don't know.
Yeah, D.A. Sinclair. He. I think I said that, didn't I?
Yeah.
That he was going to end up working for Cecil.
Think so, yeah. That's what we're I was like, they're not gonna let him rot in jail, and then we started brainstorming a little bit of what was gonna happen.
There you go, we both said it. So yeah, more men that Cecil says they were soldiers that gave as much as they could on the battlefield. Now they're giving a little bit more. So I guess we're supposed to be a little bit more okay with it.
That's necessarily true.
I mean, it's probably not true, but I think that's what he said to make it seem okay to Deborah or Debbie.
True. And then you actually see his true colors, I guess, on the finale, but we'll get into that in a bit.
Yeah, you got Adam Eve. She's doing her thing. She sees that everything's going down. She kind of flocks to try and help, but Cecil pulls her away, right?
Yeah.
Am I jumping ahead?
Because no, it was Doug. Doug is the one that's like, hey, you need to come with me.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It takes her across the street.
Well, that was Debbie. Was it
Debbie. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that was Debbie.
The whole thing, with the whole Mahler twins thing, and with Robot, I honestly was not expecting any of that.
So is that what happened is that what happened in 7 when we got to see the young
that's
Rudy
what happened
body?
in 7.
Okay.
Yes, that reveal. So we were both right as well with Robot actually having a human body at one point, and he sealed himself, which just opens up a whole bunch of other questions because I want to know what happened to his previous body. What do you think happened?
I mean, to me, it looks like some type of birth defect, or maybe he got some kind of rare disease that just started making his body not decay or fall apart. So he was smart enough to build himself a exterior body for him to live in or to function through, and now he used the Mahler twins ability to grow a body, which just happened to look like Rexplode.
Yeah. So I have another theory. What do you think if maybe Robot just consistently tried cloning himself over and over again, but it wasn't perfected, and that's why he looks like a shriveled up big fetus that can talk?
So are you saying that he's super old?
Yeah, especially for him to be so smart with everything. And so what's the word? Not elegant, not intricate.
Articulate?
Yes, articulate. He knows so much about the world, especially he knows how to save Monster Girl, so I think he probably could survive, probably a couple 100 years old.
Yeah, I could see that happening. That'd be pretty cool. I mean, that'd be pretty interesting. Obviously, but the fact that he's smart enough to live that long and keep making his own body, but not perfect cloning, that he needed the tech that the Mahler twins had is baffles me too.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's why the theory kind of goes away, but I mean, I think it'd be pretty cool if that's how it went. And obviously, Mahler twins are geniuses that can set up a whole cloning thing. They've perfected the cloning process.
Yeah. So there's a lot to Robot that we haven't seen yet, I think.
Yeah. And I don't know how I feel about the whole reason that he chose Rexplode's body. I still think it's a little bit weird, and that's also a whole another thing to kind of unpacked.
I mean, does that mean that because Monster Girl, when she becomes a monster, she gets younger? He can just keep cloning himself younger bodies to stay looks the same age as her?
That, or what if he just keeps cloning Monster Girl over and over again until he finds a way to make her, age the correct way, not backwards. No Benjamin Button.
I mean, if he cloned Monster Girl, or at least her human body, would it also be able to turn into a monster?
Okay, that's actually a really good question. I don't know. They said her powers were magic, right?
Yeah, her it seems like her powers are magic. I guess I don't remember them saying one way or the other, but I would assume it's magic. So I would assume that a clone body of hers wouldn't have the same magic.
Okay. All right. Then never mind. Then yeah, I don't know. But maybe he will try to perfect some way to fix her to, make her age the correct way.
I mean, that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Maybe get Dark Home. Dark. What was the Clancy Brown character's name? Dark Demon.
Oh, the demon investigator.
Dark Blood. Yeah.
Rat. Darkblood. Yeah. Damien Darkblood.
Damien Darkblood. Yeah. I mean, if it's magical, maybe he knows how to fix it.
But maybe he's gonna be obviously he's still moving around and stuff and somewhat living, but maybe he's like, okay, if I remove the curse, she can't transform into a monster anymore, or if I remove the curse, she's gonna be a permanent monster. What do you want?
True.
Overall, I did love the banter between the Mahler twins in this episode, and they're pretty insightful, man. They know a lot of stuff. They were deep in this episode.
I mean, talk about their GIF from Robot.
The collar.
Well, it wasn't just the collar. They got the collar, and they had Immortal's body.
Well, they were grave digging in the previous episode. They're digging up the grave where the Immortal was laying in.
Oh, I thought Cecil had the Immortal's body.
No, they buried the bodies in a secret location, and the teenage kids were digging up the grave. They're like, oh, if you take his head, then basically you gain his powers.
Oh,
and
that's
when
right.
the Mahler twins rolled by.
That's right. So yeah, they tried to. Well, they were putting the Immortal back together, but they thought they were going to be able to control him using that collar.
Right. So this is the thing that bugged me about this episode, and I don't know why they chose to change up the animation when they tried Frankensteining him back to life, and he was stuck in his time in medieval times, and then the portal opens up and he wakes up. There's a slight change in that animation, and I don't get why they did that.
I'm such a dork, I didn't even recognize it, but I'll take your word for it. How does it change? How does it look?
It was like they didn't fully animate it, so it was like the Immortal was kind of like sliding across the screen until he like came back to life.
Oh,
and popped into where, yeah.
Okay.
You'll be able to notice it wasn't as fluid as the rest of the show.
But them bringing him back to life made it so that he was remembering his last moments of life and sent him straight into trying to fight Omni-Man.
Omni-Man? That, yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, it was pretty cool seeing the POV though of Omni-Man chopping off his head. Not gonna lie.
Let's get into the fighting of Omni-Man. So how'd that all start again?
So Doug kills Omni-Man kills all the agents in his home.
That's right.
He goes across the street, kills Doug, and then he's in search for Mark. And then Cecil's trying to talk to him, but he's not having it, and he keeps trying to murder Cecil. And then they drop the android cyborg human undead things. Right.
I liked it when he was chasing Cecil around. Cecil's barely staying ahead of him with the teleporter.
That was a really cool scene to see too.
Yeah. Yeah. He almost catches him.
Yeah. Is a straight for the neck.
And then is that when the Immortal shows up, or did?
No, they released that Kaiju.
The Kaiju was before the Immortal?
Yeah,
Okay.
Because Mark and Omni-Man try to take him down.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, the Kaiju shows up, and this is a Kaiju from the earlier in the season. This time
from episode 2.
Yeah, from episode 2, and this time Cecil says they've removed his pain receptors, so he's just angrier and tougher now.
And they gave him a bunch of steroids.
That's right.
That, I mean, what? That was like their that was like the final, I guess, defense against Omni-Man, if you would say.
It was definitely their last hope. If they couldn't, it sounds like after we saw Mark get almost killed by Battle Beast and they used his blood, they were like, well, Mark's probably the closest thing that we got to maybe stopping Omni-Man if we need to. When Mark said, no, I'm not going to do that, that's when it seems like that's when they released Kaiju.
Okay. Oh, that's true. Yeah, he's like, no, I'm not going to fight my dad. And then, Immortal comes in and he puts Omni-Man on the ropes.
Oh yeah, he seemed like he got the closest to putting him down. He even like put his fingers in his eyes and like almost made it so that he was
blind.
Yeah, he was blind, but Omni-Man managed to kill him again.
Yeah, on live national television.
Which is the thing that finally got Mark to see that his dad was bad. Well, at first he believes that it's like he's been taken over.
Mind controlled?
Yeah, mind controlled.
Yeah. Also, from watching the Immortal fight Omni-Man, more Incredibles references why you shouldn't wear a cape, because he used that to his advantage a couple of times.
He did. This is essentially like watching two Supermen go at each other.
Right. And I just want to say that there was two, but I can only remember one Dragon Ball reference on the top of my head. Because the Saiyans, they're born to basically take over planets and sell them to the highest bidders. Obviously, that's what Viltrumites do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it was like intentional,
Well, it's definitely not so much the highest bidder. They just, it might be in Dragon Ball, but in this, it's more just to add to their empire, because they got rid of so much of their own people, because the whole thing was like survival of the fittest. So only the best of the best lived. So they needed to make sure that more of their society moved on.
Right. Which I thought was pretty brutal, like, oh yeah, we, all the weak died and, the strongest survived, and here I am.
We got to see the glimpse of just about all the other people that are out there from Veltrum. It's gonna be pretty brutal. Looks like coming up. I haven't read the comics. I know you haven't read the comics, and from what I understand, Omni-Man's not even the biggest threat from Veltrum.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's scary.
So very. So, obviously Nolan or Omni-Man got sent down to Earth, to take over Earth. So do you think that he immediately had to wipe out, the human race, or do you think they're just being patient because, he's having a kid along the way that's eventually going to develop the powers and help him, take over the planet? What do you think that's all about?
Yeah, so he says something to the fact that he has to wait till he has a kid that has powers, right? And he also says that, since he lives for so long, that the amount of time that he'd spend with the people on Earth is going to be a blink in the eye, even to the point where he talks about Debbie being essentially just his pet because he's going to outlive her for so long. It makes me wonder, is like, how long has he been on Earth, and has he tried to have kids with other women before Debbie?
That's actually a good point that I didn't even think about.
and does that mean that when he had other kids that they didn't develop powers? Is it a possibility that because it definitely seemed like he didn't know if Mark was going to develop powers or not. So that's why they never had to have that talk with him. But now that he had powers, that's why everything changed.
So, do you think Omni-Man just murdered his wife and kids if they didn't develop superpowers? Previous
Yeah,
wife
he probably
and kids?
did. He obviously does not care about killing people. Like,
No,
it's a thing that he tried to
Not at all.
literally beat into Mark while beating him. Is that, all these people are insignificant. It doesn't matter. Even to the point when like Mark would save somebody, he would kill him right in front of him to be like, see, they die easily.
they're fragile.
That scene when he held him in front of the subway car while everybody is going through them, or they're going through everybody more to the point, that was gruesome.
It was. That was also all POV. But if Mark wasn't freaking out, flailing his arms, do you think the people would have survived? Well, okay, maybe not died as... No, they would still die brutally. Never mind.
It would have been a brutal death either way. But yes, the two of them, Mark and Nolan, were acting as a pole that all of them were running right into. Like, if you ever watch those videos of how metal gets cut, like, it's essentially that.
Oh man, the thing that was the worst, just to hear, coming out of Nolan's mouth was when he's like, "Hey man, he's all this death and destruction. It's all your fault."
Yeah, he constantly just kept like berating Mark, and I don't know if that was more like for his own benefit so that he could do what he needed to do. Because obviously, when it came to the end, when he was about to kill him, and he said, "I'll still have you, Dad," like if he lived forever, it reminded him of the time when he was so happy of his son for hitting the baseball, and that's all it took for him to flee, to leave Earth, to leave his son alive, and not go on with the mission.
Yeah. Where do you think Nolan is going though? Can't go back to Viltrum.
I mean, I feel like
It'll be an embarrassment.
I feel like that's the thing that he's going to try. He's going to try and go back to Viltrum, but yeah, you're absolutely right. That's not going to work out well for him. Maybe he just tells Viltrum that he killed everybody there, so there's nobody left to conquer.
Aren't they keeping tabs? Someone has to be keeping tabs.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. Obviously, Alan the Alien knows about Veltrums and how they're trying to conquer planets. So, because he comes back and he talks to Mark on the moon and tells him about the coalition of planets, I believe.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to be like the Guardians of Oa?
They might be the Guardians of Oa or the Green Lanterns. And Green Lanterns are often called the police of the space, and Coalition of Planets, the COP, cop. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So, do you think Amber is getting back with Mark?
She said, "Do you want to try again?" And or he said, "Do you want to try again?" And she said, "If you're willing to."
But I mean, like, I don't know what changes in that instance. Just the fact that he was almost dead this time.
I think so. Just the near-death experience was like, "Oh crap! Okay, you need me. I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I did this emotionally, not physically."
What do you think was going to happen with the Taylor guy? I forgot what his name was, but like they kept showing him at the end.
Right. I'm glad he survived. Obviously, he's probably going to tailor up more suits for Mark. Maybe for the Guardians of the Globe, do the same thing. Not entirely sure.
Oh yeah, speaking of the Guardians of the Globe, they went against Cecil's orders of stand by and did the smart thing of going to help people that were in danger because of the fight between Mark and Nolan. They did full on global damage. I mean, fucking Nolan drug Mark all over the globe, through buildings, even into like the crust of the earth. Who knows what kind of damage he caused? Yeah, everywhere. So that was insane.
It definitely was. And the other thing too, I did want to bring up. I mean, what do you think is going to happen to Eve? Because when she was hanging out with Mark's friend, she's like, "Oh, hey, like I'm a superhero too. I'm Eve." And like, "Oh, you can multiply yourself." He's like, "No, that's duplicate. I'm the pink one." Remember? Like, "Oh yeah, haha."
I mean, I still say this. All these people are sleeping on her, and she is the most powerful person. She's more powerful than the Phoenix Force in my mind. She's probably as powerful as Dr. Manhattan. She just has a personality.
Wow.
I mean, she can change things on an atomic level.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah. So do you think with proper training, she could probably take on Omni-Man?
I mean, with I don't even know if it's training. It's just she has to either learn or just expand her thoughts on her own powers. But yes, easily. If she can change things on an atomic level, she could change Omni-Man himself. She could make his heart blink out of existence.
Okay, that's actually pretty badass.
I mean, even if she could just change things into doors, if she changed his chest into a door and then opened it
and reached in there,
and then reached in there and all of his insides fell out, then he's dead.
Okay, I want to see that now.
I really don't. I mean, I have to imagine Kirkman knew what he was doing when he created her and made this character have this power, because it's got to play on. It's got to be a bigger long con game.
Yeah, especially if she's one of the main characters in this.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that her and Mark ever get together? Because she was showing up when Amber was there, right?
Right.
Yeah. So do you think the two
when
of them get
hanging
together
out in Mark's room and she flew away?
Yeah. Well, no,
Probably.
that was earlier, but I'm talking about in this episode. Didn't she like come to say hi to Mark and then realize that Amber was there and she's like, "Oh, hi, both
that's
of you."
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I don't remember. And crap, I didn't have another. Oh yeah, all the villains on Earth are gonna wreak havoc now because Omni-Man is gone. The Earthquake dude had a short scene at the end.
Oh, that's right. The one that's kind of crazy himself because he keeps vibrating his own brain.
There's that. So, I mean, Muller twins are probably going to escape. Cecil has an army of those android things.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Probably filled with people that died during this giant catastrophe.
Makes sense.
We also found out that the government puts certain things into the water so that people can't see things.
Yeah, great. Feed that into the conspiracy theorists that are watching the show. Great, that's what we need.
Like, could you imagine you just walked into something and you didn't see it, but you still don't see it even though you walked into it because you can't see it because they tampered with your eyesight? That's so weird.
I know. Oh, that's right. And he turned on the light. Cecil turned on the lights, and Mark saw the Immortal's body. They're putting him back together.
Yeah, they were putting him back together again. I mean, he's called the Immortal, so I would assume nothing kills him. I don't know why they buried him in the first place.
So you think he is? That's true. Probably so nobody would tamper with his body anymore. Do you think that he's the point to, as long as the head stays intact or the brain still stays intact, you can basically bring him back as many times as you want?
I mean, it might be a thing where as long as you just keep pushing the pieces back together, even if his brain had got destroyed, if you put it close enough to other pieces of brain, it might just start connecting again. I don't know.
Because I mean, the Muller twins, they soldered his head back to his body.
Right. And then it just started healing like after they brought him back to life.
Yeah. What do you think the plan for the Immortal is? Because I mean, do you think he's gonna try to kill Mark because he's the closest thing to Omni-Man?
Maybe not. I mean, I think with the second season, I don't know what they're gonna do, but they need to do with Mark is like he needs to have a season of him just going from hero to hero to villain and just training so that he can actually be able to fight when his father shows up.
I mean, there could be, depending on how they want to take it, the opening scene from, season 2, and that episode might be like a giant montage of him just training and stuff.
I mean, that's what I hope, because he needs to be able to, that's one thing that's like always been weird. Like whenever a superhero to me has like superpower, like super strength, they never actually learn to fight. They just rely on the super strength, which usually works. But could you imagine if, so when the Hulk went up against Thanos, like he was just brute strength. He was trying to go up against him, but Thanos was like, "You don't actually know how to fight. This is how you actually fight." And he took him down. He beat the Hulk, no problem. So, and I'm talking about it in game, the movie, Infinity War, not in the comic books. I don't know how it played out in the comic books, but that's one thing. Like I know at one point they tried to get Superman. They tried to write it in that Superman learned like a Kryptonian martial art, but I don't think he needed to go that difficult. I mean, you just teach him how to use judo or how to use, something that's not as lethal as like Krav Maga or something,
Well, I did want to touch on that too, because I think Nolan actually knew how to fight because he was whooping butt. He wasn't just relying on his super strength. He actually had a couple of counter moves. I mean, that's how he took the original Globe.
Yeah, no,
he didn't just overpower them.
That's absolutely true. Like Nolan knows how to fight, and obviously they trained him before they let him leave Veltrum. So, but Nolan was only training Mark how to use his powers, not how to fight.
True.
So, yeah, there you go.
So
he should go. No, Mark should go find Battle Beast and ask him to train him.
Oh, he was in that scene too. He might.
Yeah, I mean, if he's like a Lobo, maybe he'll just be like, "Pay me, I'll train you."
That'd be pretty cool. So given what we saw, in a fight, what do you give it to, Omni-Man or Superman?
I mean, you have to go with what Stan Lee said. Who's writing it? But if you go up against Superman and Omni-Man, we literally have not seen a weakness for Omni-Man yet. So, I almost want to give it to Omni-Man, but Superman does have other powers too. Like we haven't seen any heat vision or freeze breath from Omni-Man, so. Maybe Superman. I mean, seems like Superman might have the advantage.
Okay, but I mean, from what we saw too, Omni-Man does not care about anything, and given that Sue Clark was raised Boy Scout, he would try to do the exact same thing as Mark, save every human life as possible.
You're right.
So you're probably purposely distracting to get a couple of punches in.
Yep. Advantage Omni-Man. Now, if Soups can get Omni-Man to like another planet where there's nobody around, then maybe it's a different story. Maybe they fight inside the sun.
True. I mean, Omni-Man's probably gonna die and burn in, that thing.
All right. Anything else you wanted to bring up about the 2 episodes?
So with the fight that happened between Mark and Omni-Man, especially since it was broadcasted everywhere and caused so much chaos and destruction, do you think that's going to ruin Mark's or Invincible's credibility or like his image?
I think it will. I think there will be a lot of redemption or having to repay for the damages that happened. We did see more of what was the one guy who kind of tricked Invincible during the Battle Beast fight? The one
that's
machine
right.
Titan. Yeah, we saw him. So
it's true.
There's going to be more about that going forward.
I'm glad he's coming back.
Yeah,
because I like Marshall Ali. So
yeah, Mahershala Ali is pretty awesome. So, all right. If you have something to say about Invincible, we'd love to hear you. Please find me on Twitter. I am at Mitchipedia GEM. GEM stands for Geek Elite Media. Daniel, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at SuperCommieDaniel.
The rest of Geek Elite Media is at Geek Elite Media on Twitter, at Geek Elite Media on Instagram, and Facebook.com/Geek Elite Media is our Facebook page. Check out archived episodes of this podcast and other podcasts on our website, geekelitemedia.com. Whatever podcatcher you use to listen to us, please rate and review us. It helps spread the word of our network. But until next time, this is Televised Heroics on the Geek Elite Media Network saying always remember to geek out.
Geek out.
This concludes our broadcast. Beep.